Hello, CIS110. One of the things that I wanted to do as we continue our exploration of Microsoft Excel this week is to look at something that I actually provided to you earlier in this term, which is the assignment tracker. I actually created that in Microsoft Excel and then converted it to a PDF in order to send it out. But I wanted to show you a couple different ways that you can actually use it within Excel for utility. So one of those ways is that you could actually just print it off and then check off once these activities have been completed. Or we could also either write or type a date in here as each one is completed. Let's pick a random day here, and we'll just say that that was completed on 2/6/2023. And as we continue to go through all of these assignments, maybe we finish that one on the 7th, and so on and so forth. So that gives us some accountability over what we have completed and what we still have due. And one of the next things that we can do is actually use different color fills and font formats in order to keep track of where our assignments are in the process. You can see I did that with a couple of different things. These areas right here are grayed out because we do not have those activities during these units. So I actually used that color fill in order to help you understand that you don't have to do those weeks. And we can expand those color fills in order to create some awareness over what was completed and what wasn't. For instance, if we have our journal that was already completed here, and we come up to our fill color, and as we hover over that, you can see fill color appears. If we click on it, it's going to turn yellow, and if we click on the down arrow, then we can pick from any range of colors that we want to use. And let's just say that we're going to go with the green because green means good usually. And this one right here has not been completed, so what we could do is highlight that in red, and that's a little bit bright, but you get a very quick visual for what was completed and what wasn't within Unit 1 here. And we can continue to do that through Unit 2. This was not completed. This was not completed. And let me just go back here and show you one other way that we can do that. There is an area right here called Cell Styles, which is a formatting that's usually used for conditional formats. However, you can use it for a quick cell style as well. So instead of having to go through and pick a certain color, you can highlight the area that you want to format, go to the cell styles drop down, and then we can pick from our list right here. And right off the bat, we can see a normal, a bad, a good, and a neutral. So let's pick good for the journal. We'll say good for discussion boards, and we can pick bad for knowledge check because that one was not completed. As we look at discussion board replies, maybe you've posted one in Unit 2 and you still need to post a second one. You could go to neutral, and that would let you know that these ones were completed. This one is in process, and this one has not been started yet. So that's a good way to add some sort of visuals in order to keep track of where you are with each of your assignments, and it adds a lot of utility for this. And one of the other things that I wanted to show you, just because I think that it's really cool, is we can actually enter a drop-down list in Excel, which I always find to be an awesome feature. And we can do that by selecting the cells that we want to add a drop-down list in. And I can do that in one cell here. I could select an entire range of cells that I want to do it in. And then from there, what I do is go to the Data tab here. And under the Data Tools, we're going to look for the one that says Data Validation. In Office 365, that is right here. But we want to look for Data Validation. Click the down list here, and then I'm going to click on data validation again. And then from here, it's going to ask me what I want it to allow. How are we going to validate this data? So from the drop-down list, I can pick on list, And then it's going to ask me where my source is. There's a couple different ways to do sources. You can pick it from selecting certain areas of a spreadsheet or a different workbook, or you can just write what it is that you want here. So for assignments completed, we can put either yes or no, just to make this simple. And each item on that list is separated by a comma. So we're going to put our first item, which is yes, a comma, and then our second item, which is a no. And for each item that I want to add, I would just need a comma, and it will separate each of those into different options within the list. And then I simply press OK. So now when we are not clicked on these particular cells, it doesn't look like there's anything there, but when we click on the cell itself, we can see a little drop-down list here, and we can select yes or no. So I can select no for that. And I'm just going to put yes for that just so that you can see how that works. And I can copy my drop-down lists. I'm going to press Control-C and then Control-V. So I can copy that drop-down list as well. And that automatically populates as no, which would actually kind of work because then we have that visual right off the bat that no, that hasn't been completed. And then as you complete everything, you can use that drop-down list to click on yes. So those are just a few different ways that we can add some of these functions and features of Microsoft Excel to bring some utility towards the way that you use it and support the different things that you need to use Excel for. I hope that this has been some good insight for some of you. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Take care, everybody.